Okay, Provi-Shotz were the reigning champions. They're not anymore after a fantastic comeback from Meme Team. CleverGirls took a pretty convincing win today with their Naga team. So both of these teams are about equal in the sort of like the higher upper bracket, the echelon of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Provi-Shotz came out Sween last week, looking really, really strong. They've lost that last match, but kind of feel like I think they can make it back up again. And CleverGirls, disappointing loss for them last time, but they've won their last match today. So yeah, but these teams are pretty evenly matched, I think, in skill and theory crafting. So it should be a great match. The band's just starting now. And Provi-Shotz are opening as red.
Yeah, I
So
think this is the first time Provi-Shotz have been on the red team, so it'd be interesting to see them come up with a shield team. I think in the past they've always gone an armor team because they've always been the blue team.
yeah, I mean, armor's still possible. Having said that, they've just banned Exacro, so probably not. They know CleverGirls like heavy DPS all-in teams. Although last time they brought on Osprey, so they've banned out Exacro. Last week, Exacro was like pretty much a standard ban for the minor league, but we haven't really seen it much today.
Yeah,
So
it's a
in
risky
fact,
ban for the red team because then the blue team can just ban two Logis and they pick first Logi, then you're locked out of a Logi.
yeah. Provi-Shotz might be trying to do that. We haven't seen Caracal this week, which is interesting. Caracal was super strong last week, but we haven't seen it picked or banned at all this week. So there's definitely a meta kind of gap opening up between the minor league and the major league, which is quite interesting. They're definitely drawing, stats and influences from each other, but there's definitely a kind of a meta opening up. Maybe it's just because of the skill levels of the team, or just kind of because they know what the other team captains favour. CleverGirls banning out Hyperion because it's just brutal, great all-round battleship probably, and Provi-Shotz banning out the Osprey. So this means that only Scythe and Aurora are open. Now, do CleverGirls ban one and pick one? I'm not sure. They do. They ban out Scythe, so that's shield Logi off the table. So I don't think we'll see a shield kiting setup. This may be a DPS all in on both sides. CleverGirls, I don't think we've seen them pick the Agora before. It's not as strong as the Exacra, but it does is still a decent logistic ship. It's got small reps, so it doesn't rep as hard as the Exacra, but it has got a dual prop, so you can kind of like reposition with it really well. Provi-Shotz opening red with a slasher. Interesting. I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah, we've actually seen them pick it once before. Sasha's really interesting because it's the only frigate that has an afterburner instead of a micro warp drive, so it's actually really good at. I think it's the only frigate that can really get a lot of traversal and mitigate rapid light damage, which maybe they predict CleverGirls trying to bait and switch them, picking a character instead of the Augur.
I think you're right there. I think that's pretty solid theory crafting and Provi-Shotz there. It's actually got a tiny signature as well with that afterburner. Well, despite having a medium shield extender, it's still pretty tiny for a frigate. So it can just kite a lot of things just by mitigating damage with its afterburner and overloading. They've gone for Thrasher support, which is interesting. I can't recall seeing a Thrasher yet. It's a very high DPS destroyer actually, but it's not super tanky. It does have speed, but it has a very, very short engagement range.
Okay, first Blackbird that we've seen in the championship. Now I really don't like the Blackbird, and I'll tell you why. The Blackbird has three racials, so what you can do as the Clever Girls team, right? You can say, okay, well, obviously they're going to try and jam our Augur, so then you just pick a Amar battlecruiser and Amar battleship, and if they put the Amar ratio on the Augur, you've got a battlecruiser and battleship that's not getting jammed.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a very risky pick. I mean, we've seen Blackbird banned a lot, so teams who are actually out there practicing and seeing how effective these ships are outside of EFT have been banning Blackbird quite a lot. So they know something that possibly we don't. Because sometimes in practice, EFT calculations don't really work out when you get into the arena. So that's interesting. I'm really interested to see how the Blackbird works out then. They've banned Oracle. Which is a very good idea, I think. And CleverGirls have removed Megathron, which is probably the best no Logi setup battleship.
Yeah, the CleverGirls going with the Harbinger. I think they're probably going to go with an Mar battleship as well for that racial purity theme. So that way the Blackbird has one of each racial. That means if they're using the, like as mentioned, the Mar racial on the Ogre, that means that all of the other Mar ships have to have a off-spec racial on them.
Interesting that our statistics staff member Elinari, she's been taking all the statistics here today, and will be saving those and logging them for future graphics and pick ban sessions. Apparently, Harbinger has been picked in every match today, so very, very, very popular pick today. Provi-Shotz going for the Naga to kite out. They're battened by Provi-Shotz, I guess. That's an interesting pick. I'm not sure I would have gone on that myself, but I guess they just want to use that brick tank to their advantage. And CleverGirls wrapping up with the APOC. I mean, CleverGirls have just got a textbook meta kind of set up here. You know, they've got long-range pulse lasers. They've got short-range, medium-range pulse lasers for tracking. They've got an Agora armor, pretty armor tanky Logi. They've got Algos for the Logibot reps. And they've got Punisher. I think their setup looks really, really strong. That Blackbird's going to have to pull a lot of work for Provi-Shotz to win.
Yeah, the APOC as well has a sensor booster, so he's going to be able to run, ECCM script. He's probably never going to get jammed by that Blackbird.
I think you're probably right. Apoth, do you want to see what the other commentators think about this before we go to the match?
For sure. So Harb picked 5 for 5. It's died all the times it's been fielded today, as mentioned. Lysis, tell me about the Harb, tell me about the fit, tell me why people are picking it, but also why it's dying so much.
Well, the Harbinger, the reason why people like it, yes, it has lasers and it's locked to EM therm damage, but pulse lasers in a sense can actually still hit for a long range. So it actually does have that damage projection that people don't forget about. It could still easily hit over 30 kilometers. You put that long range ammo, you're still going to apply. So that's the biggest reason why I see people picking it. It does have a strong tank, and even with the long range ammo, it still has some pretty good DPS. So it's not a bad ship, and it comes with drones. So you have that utility there. Unfortunately, it hasn't been doing so well, but it just depends on the team and how they utilize it. A lot of teams go in with that Harbinger when they didn't need to, because they can use that long range ammo. I can understand why they go in, because they want that extra damage. But do they need it? No. Stay away. Use your range that you get. Even though you're pulse, you still could use it. Be smart with it, and you see teams do really well with that Harbinger. I hope to see it turn around for this match.
Awesome. Well, I need to give a shout out to my man Hendrik Taladar for producing some great info videos that are hopefully going to start displaying on the screen while we talk soon. Rain, give me your thoughts on the four matches we've seen today and what you've learned from them, then looking into this match between Provi-Shotz and CleverGirls. What are you expecting?
Well, I'm pretty excited because Provi-Shotz, I think, are the first team to bring the Blackbird. And we've talked a lot about ECM, we've talked a lot about it being banned. But I'm excited to actually see it on the field because I know how salty people get about ECM. And then it's also, I think, the first team today that actually don't have a Logi setup. So I find that also interesting. I know there were some comments in chat of, oh, why does everyone bring a Logi? Do they have to bring a Logi? And so hopefully that there's this is a good matchup, a good fight to see, to show that you don't always need the Logi ship.
Okay, so Chesser, looking at these teams, who do you favor for the final match of the day and why?
Well, the CleverGirls completely should win this without issue at all. The Apocalypse is probably the best battleship to have. Instead of a Harbinger, having an Oracle would be great. Oracle was banned, but Harbinger also very good if you can fly it correctly, aka don't ram shit with it. And those two ships sitting at Scorch range are going to burn down that Blackbird. They're going to burn down that Naga. There is basically nothing that Provi is going to be able to do to stop the Harbinger from burning into their backline and just screwing up their entire team. The Slasher is going to die. It's with its AB because it's going to get webbed multiple times, and it's pretty much useless. The Thrasher is going to live for all of 3 seconds. I expect that to just get vaporized. Provi just showing their complete lack of understanding of what's going on here. It's just going to be a one-sided stomp.
fantastic. I'm super excited for this final match of the day. We've had really some of the best games I've seen in Event series since we've started running it. Hell, it's been some of the best tournament games I've ever seen. And, you know, even though I'm a young man in Eve, I've gone through all the old AT VODs, and these matches do rank very highly on the all-time brilliance list. So let's, we've got a little bit of time before we go into the final match. So I'm going to give Mr. Elise Randolph another chance to give a shout out to the incredible sponsors we have before we get this match underway.
All right. Big ups to Punchonics. We gave away a headset earlier in the day. And double big up to CCP, especially CCP Logic Bro and CCP Guard, for helping us set up this server that you guys are watching this. You guys are not watching anything on Tranquility or Singularity. You're watching on Thunderdome. Thunderdome was a server set up especially for in-game events. And it's so cool that we have this dedicated server because we can run the patch from last week on it. And so there's consistency throughout the entire series that we're running, so we don't have to like change rule sets or don't have to adapt to any new meta changes midweek. So that is super great. And of course, they also made us some super sick skins. These IGC Apocalypse skins. There are just over 420 of them in the game. The winner of the Major League gets 110 of them, I believe, and the winner of the Minor League gets 30 of them. And obviously, when you win in the minor league, the first two positions get promoted into the next season of the major league. So even more chances to win even cooler prizes. And man, it does certainly look like Provi-Shotz might have a chance, as do CleverGirls. CleverGirls won last season, did really, really well, surprised everyone, came down to the last ship explosion, in fact. It was great. And right now, they are tied on points, and I cannot wait to see the outcome of this match. Whoever wins is going to be catapulted into like the first position going into our final weekend, and I am really, really stoked. We did the drawing for the final IGC Apocalypse skin, and the winner, I don't have his Twitter name anymore, but we do have his in-game name, and if you're watching, it will be sent to you, as mentioned in the PM, as soon as we get the skins from CCP ourselves. So really excited about that. And as always, tune in every week for some super cool prizes, you know? And I mean, you should just watch for the prizes. This has been like crazy good matches. Every single series has been like edge of your seat, nail biting action. In fact, I'm biting my nails right now. It is fantastic.
Awesome. So the teams are being teleported into the battle arena as we speak. Let's do a quick rundown of the minor league points as they stand before the final match of today. We have in first place with an amazing showing so far. We have Team Phalanx. They have 7 league points in first place, having played 3 matches with a dominating victory, a win, and a loss. So that's 37 match points total. In second place, tied, we currently have Provi-Shotz and CleverGirls with 6 points each, 3 games played, 2 wins, and 1 loss each. However, Provi-Shotz do have 37 match points, and CleverGirls have only 30. So CleverGirls are, in fact, third. Then the last 3 teams all have 3 league points. We have the Meme Team with 3 points and 24 match points scored. We have the Charlatans with 3 league points and 28 match points, and then Burnt Out with 3 league points and 20 match points. It looks like the teams are landing. So we'll be going to the commentators for the final match of the day. It's sad it's over, but we'll be there soon. And after this match, shameless plug, I'll be doing almost straight into my Eve Nerds Play D&D episode 6, so check that on my local channel. Please don't be mad at me, Nash, for pimping that. Anyway, let's head over to Lysis and Chesser for the final match of the day. It is Provi-Shotz versus CleverGirls.
Welcome back, everyone, for the last match of today's Even Team Minors between the CleverGirls and Provi-Shotz. And it looks like the CleverGirls have decided to come in at 0. And Chester, can you tell me why?
Well, because I think they realize that their team completely destroys Provi-Shotz, and they can warp at 0, because if the Harbinger would warp on 0 of the entire enemy team, it's actually going to be real happy because it's going to delete the Slasher, the Thrasher, and then just move its way up very quickly. The Provi-Shotz team warping at range, why did they do that, Lysis?
Well, they know that they're going to have trouble. The Provi-Shotz, their strategy is that Blackbird is their main linchpin here. If I was them, I'll be trying to jam out that Augur, jam out that Algos, and then, of course, try to get maybe an off-racial jam on the other ships. But if they can get successful jams on that Augur and maybe take out 1 or 2 ships in that time of it being jammed, they might see this match swing their way. So all comes down to RNGesus coming down for the Blackbird with those jams and keeping out of range from that Harbinger.
Match is starting in 10 looking at local, so in just a few seconds here, we're going to start this off, and I'm just waiting to see a Thrasher get deleted, and that Slasher, depending if where his piloting is at, probably die in short order as well.
Oh yeah, and the match has started, and it looks like the Slasher and Thrasher and everybody else is like backing away, and you see the CleverGirls team going in, Punisher at the head of the charge. We're gonna see, and looks like the Harbinger is the primary.
Yeah, it's a smart choice to be shooting the Harbinger, and it looks like jams were not successful, at least first cycle. Our Augur is repping the Harbinger like a hero. The Abaddon has been surpassed already by the Punisher, who seems to be burning straight for the Blackbird, and maybe get hopefully a web on that. But big damage coming down on the Algos as well.
Oh yeah, there's some split damage, but that Harbinger is taking quite a bit of damage. That's the Abaddon not having problems hitting it. That's the Naga not having problems hitting it. The Algos is getting there in the back line. The Punisher's in the back line.
Thrasher is trying to peel off the Punisher from the Blackbird. Thrasher taking a little bit of damage now from that Thrasher, but that Blackbird going down fast. It does have a 1600 plate in it, so it is armor fit, but Taston needs to be careful in the Harbinger. I don't know why, when players are taking this much damage, continue to MWD straight into the damage instead of, turning around a little bit or getting more into better Logi rep range, but he's dead after that. Horrible
First blood on the Harbinger. Look at that.
Yeah.
A jam must have come through.
That might be true. Blackbird is now just eating Scorch from the APOC, which, again, that APOC, there's no real reason for it to come close because it outranges every single ship here, so it needs to be careful.
So this is actually a close match out. Yes, the Blackbird went down, which was a big pivotal ship. But in that time, they were able to take a huge chunk of DPS out of the CleverGirls team by taking down that Harbinger. And there's damage across all of the CleverGirls team of the Algos is almost dead.
This APOC is actually getting rammed by a slash. It's getting rammed. It is not turning around. I don't know why the APOC is getting closer. It has a 60-kilometer Scorch range. Why do you get closer? They don't have a Logi. Just sit at range. Be happy with your life.
Punisher down. That's great. Naga's about to go down. There's just ships exploding everywhere, even with this Augur on field.
Slasher's on top of the APOC if he wants it, though. But no, he's just burning away. He's burning away. At this point, I'm so confused. Why did the Slasher not take that opportunity to get on top of the APOC, hold him down? But okay,
Algos. The Slasher's going for the Algos.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? That was my mistake. It's actually important that the Slasher goes for the Algos because the Algos is now underneath the guns of the Abaddon. It's gotten in really, really close. Again, I don't know why the APOC is getting closer because it very much outdamages the Abaddon at range.
He's switching. He's going right back now.
As well as the Augur. Augurer, Brent Thomas burning into the Abaddon is going to get under its guns, and it looks like the APOC might be trying to join him. The APOC actually in a close fight like that would be advantaged because it has a tracking bonus. It can switch to multi, which is much higher tracking ammo. So the APOC, if it uses manual orbit over the Abaddon, would actually be able to still hit better. It's kind of an interesting fact.
I have been that Abaddon pilot before, where I could not track a battleship that was right next to me. And
Thrasher's been okay. So now the APOC has rammed the Abaddon. Let's see what happens here. It's basically Slasher, Abaddon versus all three on the CleverGirls side. The Augur, APOC, and Algos.
with this APOC getting so close and everything getting on top of this Abaddon, I just do not see it being able to apply. And they
No.
still have the Logi ship. It's so small. It's going to hug that Abaddon.
Yeah, important to know the Augur is dual prop, so it can switch to AB right now, and it's never going to get hit again, ever.
Oh yeah, he has a ton of Logi drones on him.
Yeah,
Everyone's looking good here.
The Slasher's slowing dying to drones, but you know what? That doesn't matter if a Slasher dies or doesn't die. CleverGirls have won on points.
Yeah, they're not even worried about this now. Unless this Abaddon, for some reason, just wipes the floor of everything out of nowhere. I just do not see this turning for Provi-Shotz. It was close. There was a pivotal moment in that match that it could have swung either way. With the Harbinger going down first over the Blackbird.
I mean, the Harbinger was just poorly piloted. I personally disagree with you there, Lysis. I don't think this was ever close to begin with, but that's just me.
Well, yes, like, him going down shows that was a mistake on his part, but being that close where they could have somehow done it, but then the Blackbird falling right after, but then now the ships, they knowing the downfalls of the Abaddon, where it is weaken its strength, and that's having terrible tracking. Even with the tracking computer, it's not going to hit. Not this close. Even a battleship being up close to it is still going to have trouble tracking. This should be an easy cleanup.
Yeah, as you can see here, like first of all, the APOC has the Augur, but it's just taking grazing shots at this point. And when the APOC was actually using Conflict right now just to get an even better damage, but it's tracking bonus, hull stats as well as the fact that it's using Mega Pulse instead of Tachyons. It just gives it a huge advantage here. So clear win from CleverGirls. Provi-Shotz really disappointing, actually. They're like, I don't know what they were thinking at all. It was completely off meta, not even slightly. It just was like a complete kerfuffle when I looked at their team.
Yeah, that's why the Blackbird is such a big roll of the dice. It's a tough match. All the ECM ships, even with Scorpion as a pick, you don't see none of the teams pick it. ECM is just so up in the air. It could either be your best friend or just your worst enemy. And as you see here, it just didn't follow the way of the Blackbird.
No, it did not. I think I agreed with Satonia's assessment earlier with the multi-specs being a little bit stronger than those racials. I think it was, again, smart on CleverGirls to go all Amar. But with that Abaddon going down, Lysis, take us home.
Yeah, that was a great match from CleverGirls taking over Provi-Shotz and send it back to Apothony.